I like the marker board.
Yeah.
Did you ever watch? I don't know if it's still on ESPN, that show. Pardon the interruption. No, not that one. It's Around the Horn.
Around the Horn.
Oh yeah.
Around the Horn. Yeah, you look like Woody Page.
He always has something different on there, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's always corny and stupid, but yeah.
It's corny and stupid. Correct.
It's
I need
like
to change it.
It's like DATS. Whenever you go by DATS, they always have something silly on their sign.
Each day I got to put something different on there, I think.
I guess there's a Mexican restaurant in El Paso called El Arroyo, and they're like nationally famous because they change their like little. It's just those black and white letters you put on the little light up sign, but they change it every day.
Cyber's Edge is here.
Cyber's Edge.
I don't know whose kid that is. I think it's mine.
No,
Definitely
it's mine.
mine.
I think she said my dog. All right, I'll be right back. Yes.
You didn't have to go. You could have bring him on the show.
Can you supervise? I got to go pee in the potty.
Is that what he said?
I don't know.
Oh, I was going to say.
I'd like
So
to
what's up, Zach?
shout out to our sponsor beer, Shinerbach, for all
you know what?
those
Yeah,
of you
I'm,
that go to Texas. This will be there for you.
All right,
I think I'm just going to finish the bottle. Like, yeah.
Oh, you're back on the Dickel.
Back on the Dickel.
I like
smart.
that. I like that exchange.
Loves the Dickel.
I love that exchange you're doing. You described it last week with your buddies of like, you actually buy something nice and drink it. It doesn't sit on your shelf like, look at my nice taste in whiskey. I've got all these. Yeah.
No, it
I
does
remember
not.
I was wasted off my ass one night when my old roommate Jordan gave me a bottle of Blue Label, and I was like, are you ready for some now? And he's like, no, we got to wait until we're sober. And I was like, mine
Okay.
reverbing?
Who's there? Whose doorbell's ringing?
It's mine. I don't want to go there. I like it.
You might need to answer your phone or your door.
No,
Sorry.
it's a fucking kid. You guys want to come? Hang on.
At least
Yeah,
you're
let's go.
popular. At least you're
Let's
popular.
do it.
Take us off speaker and we'll tell him what the fuck's going on.
I think he's like 2.
Yeah. Well, he might as well learn now.
And learn,
Hey, Zach,
the
how's it
hard
going,
way.
bud?
I'm here.
Zach, you're ruining this for us.
I'm Zach.
They can't come out.
His
okay?
name's Zach.
All right.
Yeah, he's
We're
fine.
gonna have dinner soon. All right. Bye, bud.
Bye, Zach. Don't come back.
Your parents gave you up for adoption.
Rachel, you can't say that.
I'm your father. How
No,
old
I'm your father.
Do the neighbors know you're a sexual predator, Chris?
I'm not a red
Do they know
dog.
you're on the list?
Brandon, let me know when you're up and running.
All right, that's better.
Yeah.
All right. Sorry
Yeah,
about that.
I think this is going to be better.
All right, boys. Welcome to Furlough Friday 03. What y'all drinking?
But who's counting? Who
I was
cares?
gonna say, like,
It's easy to
technically,
count to
like,
3.
what
It's going to start getting real hard here soon, sooner than we think. I have a empty glass. I'm going to
Sniffed
put
it.
water in it. And then some of this, yeah.
I was gonna say you're changing it up. All right. I've got my pirate glass. I found it. I know like last week it was MIA, but I am.
You know
down
what?
to
I'm
one.
going to go get my pirate. I'm going to go get my Sky Pirate
Please do.
glass.
I like how you squinted your left eye like you just had Bell's palsy just to get that across.
Well, I wanted to be sympathetic. It was a sympathetic
I caught it.
eye for you.
It's fine. It's fine.
You look great, by the way. Like fully recovered.
Sure.
You look amazing.
Okay.
If it's any consolation.
I have a purple cup because this one keeps it really cold. Ice fucking cold.
Nice.
That's beautiful. Is that a Yeti?
Yeah, it's a mom's Yeti wine glass gimmick.
Does it come with a top on it and everything?
Oh yeah, I got a top gimmick.
Does it have a
Those are
basic
special.
bitch phrase on it that said, "This may be wine. this may be vodka." Eat, pray,
A
love.
basic. That's great.
I'm drinking. You'll appreciate this. I got another Minton whiskey here from the Traverse City Whiskey Company.
Ooh.
So
Man,
yeah, man.
I want a care package. I want a care package.
Do you
of all
like
these.
subscribe to a whiskey company in Michigan, or
No,
do you,
it's just ABC Liquor or whatever down the street. But they've got a shelf of locals. So I'm making my way through all those, and I am going to try to adopt Brandon's philosophy and try to finish the bottles before.
Whiskey today takes
Yeah,
everything you
but-
got.
I'm just
They're
drinking my standard
Drink your
Jameson
whiskey
cold
in the form of
brew.
a shot.
Cool.
Sure it is.
Always a promiser.
Yeah.
Promising.
So yeah, it's
endeavor.
nice. I'm making my way through all the Minton whiskeys. And I'm doing like
It's from Traverse City.
poor man's old fashions. I've got bitters and grenadine and some simple syrup. So I'm not doing the muddling and stuff. I'm just kind of dumping it all in there. But it turns out okay.
Did you guys see Omar's?
Everybody knows your name.
That's what inspired me.
Cool.
Yeah. I love old fashions and Sazeracs, and there are a few others that I know how to make, but then there's some other ones that I don't.
But are they all bastardized with like grenadine because you're too lazy to muddle and all that?
Not usually. Just for now, I am.
Well, here's the thing.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that. I don't muddle either. I just put it in there. I don't actually go through the work. My wrists, elbows.
Yeah.
Just throw the stuff in there and then start drinking.
So you don't go full Johnny
All this
Poland
stuff.
with the freaking.
Hey, Zach, if you end up not getting furloughed
gentlemen.
and you get back on the road, cheers, brother.
Mm-hmm.
You enjoy craft cocktails too, right, Zach?
Oh yeah.
You should make that your thing. Go on the road and stop into different places and give us a little inside scoop of what's going on in South America.
You know that's how I got to be like on Yelp. I was like a Yelp Prime member. Like not everybody gets invited to that, by the way.
No. Yelp Elite? Were you Yelp Elite?
Yeah, I was Yelp Elite for 5 years until I had a kid, and then they took it away from me because I don't.
Oh, they don't like children.
I stopped judging.
Number one.
I stopped judging
Tyler's
places that other people go to, and I started judging parks. And they have 2 slides. 2 slides is way better than the 1 slide down the park. And then the elites were like,
"That's not going to work out. That's not going to
great.
work out at all."
Tyler, are you still Uber Platinum Elite? No.
I deleted my Uber Eats app last weekend.
Can you believe he's saying this? He deleted his Uber Eats app. That's unheard of.
Why?
Well, probably because I was spending $800 to $1,000 a month.
Dude, you know their revenue went down at least 10%?
Yeah.
You moved the needle.
I moved the needle. Platinum doesn't just happen, bro.
It takes work.
You see my eyes? Like, I used to spend a lot of money at Soho Tavern, but like $1,000.
Yeah. Tyler, I got a family of 6, and I'm pretty sure we eat for half of that.
Yeah, because you cook.
Is your range even plugged in, Tyler? Does it even work? Do you even know?
Range. What are you talking about?
Yeah, your
It's
oven,
on top of your
stove.
oven. Yeah.
The range?
Oh, the range. Yeah.
What is that?
I'm pretty sure Russ tried to light it.
You can understand my confusion.
That's where you set the case of White Claw before you load it into the refrigerator, right?
Okay.
That's the only available horizontal surface that's in your kitchen.
Have you guys ever seen anybody try to light their cigarette off of an electric burner?
It works.
All the time. My mom used to do it back in the day.
We all went to college, bro.
Yeah, Russ Healy did it at your house.
Wow. That's what it's a lighter.
At my house?
Your lighter is what we're talking about. They're big guy.
Yeah.
Was that his 40th birthday party that you're referring to?
Yeah, I'm carrying this pen because my hand shakes like Joe Biden, and I like to keep it under control. So that's why.
Oh, you can't say that.
Well,
you
I
can't.
have palsy. I can say whatever.
There's people that love Joe Biden and it's political or some
Joe
crap. Which brings, you know what? That's a good segue. Thanks, Zach. It's
Let's
almost
go.
as like you wrote this shit. Not to get political or on that crap, because we're not, because that's not what this is about. But I will say I had a little issue this week with, some of the stuff that we're putting out. And as a disclaimer, the fact that we even have to do this is just so ridiculous. But not naming any airlines, we're not doing that anymore because people are getting a little butthurt based on some of the things that we may or may not say. Well, not you guys because you're professional. I try to be, but I also thought that this is a place for those that are listening or watching or have comments, please give comments because we love them. But keep in mind, this is like a bunch of guys getting together on a Friday night, drinking their favorite stuff around the campfire, talking shit, busting each other's balls, and discussing things that happen in the week, right? And it's not always rosy. It's not always, what's the word we're talking about?
Politically correct.
Politically correct. We don't have all the answers. We have perspective. We don't have the rights and the wrongs because that doesn't exist. We have perspective. And the idea behind this whole thing is to get everybody's different perspective on certain topics. Now, we're not going to get political, religious, and all that crap, but if it comes up, so what? Hey, there's an idea.
Hey, Chris, take us with you to see who's at the door.
It's the
Can
same
we go answer the
motherfucker.
door with you? Please tell us it's the same kid and then take us off of the.
know
It's
it
the
is.
same kid. I love it. So as he's going to the door, guys, keep that in mind. Civil discourse in the community is amazing.
Hey, Zach. How's it going, bud?
It's Zach again.
It's Drew's being mean. Can you go play with Ross?
Can you go play with somebody else's kid?
You know what I want to do so bad is I want to do the Will Ferrell skit from his audition tape and just be like, "Get off the shed, Zach! Get off the
Right.
shed!"
Hey, you know how your dad goes on work sometimes? I got to do a work call, and then I'll come check it out.
And then just
Don't
go back
lie
to
to the
the
kid.
burgers. Hey guys, do you want medium rare? Or Bob, I know you like them well done, don't you? You want some seasoning on there? Shake, 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 shake.
Yeah.
Get off
So this is the
shed.
shit I'm talking about. This is real life, man. This is what it's all about. This is the things that we're dealing with when you're not on the job.
Good job, Chris. You handled that quite well.
But if you look behind where Chris used to be, there's an American
coming.
flag. So he obviously has,
I'm a
some
patriot. Come on.
patriotism. He's got the world because he cares about the world, and he has an encyclopedia book
Because he likes to read or something. Is that what it is? Likes to read.
that's his experience right there.
This is the complete far side. I got it from my parents.
Oh, that is
Every single
amazing.
Far Side I ever put out.
That is amazing.
It's comic books that look like an encyclopedia.
It's not even encyclopedias.
It's like, in Dodgeball when White Goodman's reading the dictionary coming down. You caught me. I like to make a mental sweat, too.
That's great.
All right.
Oh,
I don't want to promise there's going to be no more interruptions because there probably will be, but sorry, Brandon.
Nah,
keep
it's
going.
fine.
We actually welcome them.
I pray
Absolutely.
that comes back 2 more times.
Oh, I want Zach. Can you get him in on the podcast? Can we start
Yeah,
talking
let's see
to
what
Zach?
Zach
He's
has to say about furloughs.
His parents think I'm the biggest fuck off for real because they're like they both work, so they do like the work from home thing, and they have childcare come in while they work, and they see me out just like drinking in the driveway and
playing with their kids.
Yeah, pretty much.
Hey, can we send them this link once we're done with it?
I wouldn't.
No,
Well, I'm pretty sure they think I'm like sober and actually watching their kids when they're over here.
Oh yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, but
Yeah.
what are they doing? They're sending the kids to you.
Yeah, I know.
Well, it's kind of like, like when your wife's coming upstairs and you're in the middle of something and then you just act like you weren't doing it and you're like, "Hey, babe, what's going on? Everything's fine."
Yeah.
Were you-
Everything. What? Did you have a question? And so for some reason, your
I
fingers
was
in your
just
nose.
making the bed. Like I was putting
Yeah.
some stuff away and
Yeah, pretty sure because I don't sleep on my back ever, but that's how I whack off. So
Yeah,
I'm
it's
laying on my back and my wife comes in the room. She's like, "What's going on in here?"
Why is your iPad on? I was looking at news.
Nudes.
Industry news.
Nudes. Nudes? No, news.
News.
Stop it.
News.
You know, sometimes that happens to men in hotel rooms. Do not disturb. You know who you are.
All been there.
All right. So what happened this week? Anything in the archives?
Oh, maybe. I don't know. So I'm a little removed from it, but I saw it through the Facebook channels. Unfortunately, it looks like we had an F-15 crash this week. Mm-hmm. So you talk about it's not always rosy, not always optimism. But it was Lake and Heath 15 went down on a training mission. So I kind of reflected on that a little myself. I thought like, man, what a time to have to go through that. Because you know how poignant and painful it is to a unit and just to all the families involved when there is an aircraft loss and a pilot loss, but compounded by how distant we all are too. So pour one out for the brothers there. It's not Jeremiah Weed. I'm sorry, but yeah.
Well, all right, this is gonna come off as insensitive, but that's I'm sorry, but so I'm on this like FO communicator with a bunch of it's like 400 FOs, and we kind of keep it off. It's all supposed to be like, just, hey, we're all sharing information, talking, like sharing ideas.
Yeah,
blah, blah, blah.
we got one too. Yeah.
And a couple of the guys were like, there's a lot of military in this forum. And a couple of guys brought up the news, and then I didn't understand one message for about 20 messages in a row because there was so much fighter talk. I had to pull up Google and start Googling all the little statements. And I pieced together a 2-paragraph conversation. And then I chimed in at the end and I was just like, I'm sorry guys, that sucks. But I didn't understand for like two.
But it was based on this, what happened when Lakin?
Yeah, like they were talking about what could have happened, and I was using all this jargon, and I was like, I hope they understand what they're talking about because I don't know.
There needs to be a urban dictionary just for fighter speak, huh?
Isn't there one?
I'm sure there is, yeah.
Like acronym finder or something like that. You can get like 90% of it, and then the rest off Duffel Blog.
Yeah,
True. For the hell of it, so Urban Dictionary has a randomized feature. I just pulled it up here. You want to know what the first one it came up to was?
Please.
Oh my God.
Clap the erasers. Before fucking an old woman, you must clap the lips of her vagina together to knock the dust out. How you like that?
Wow.
All right, Pete.
Okay.
Well, number one, I don't like that. Number one.
Yeah.
We all have a friend that does, though.
Yeah. I think that would be an excellent one-a-day pull-off calendar. Is just the Urban Dictionary.
It's happening.
Wow.
I'm downloading it already.
Yep.
It's happening.
Yeah.
The little Apple little thing is about to finish here for me.
That's insane.
On a side note, I hope to find out what happened, and
Yep. Yeah, it's good for closure. It's good for safety, and I do think it's good to just talk about it. Maybe not even the gory details of it, but just the feelings of it. Because I still remember it's been 7 years now since we lost that tanker, and I was active duty at the time. I think you guys were already in the unit, but man, of all the things to have to get everyone together on the commander's call, talk about if everybody's okay, how are we going to go forward on the operation. I still remember the words of this commander, not a good one. And it was basically, guys, we got to keep the rumors under control because there's a lot of information flowing around right now and it might be false. And I remember just being aghast, thinking like, what a failure. Like people could be like, freaking out right now. They could be teetering, just trying to comprehend reality. And you're worried about, false information or rumors leaking out on the first, get together. So
Weren't you on the safety
there's right and wrong
investigation
ways
board?
to handle it. I was on the other one, the legal accident investigation board. So the non-privileged side, basically the publicly releasable side. But this was all before it. This was literally the next day when you get everybody together. So I'll never be in those shoes. I'll never be a commander. But man, I remember telling myself one day, if this is ever me on this podium, that is not what I'm going to say in that situation. Because I thought how indicative of the current, at least the active duty force is just, I'm going to cover my own ass. I'm going to make sure no one's spreading false information before I even see how everyone's doing. So
I think I'd go down with that ship. If that was me, if I knew any information, I would just be like, hey, family, come over here.
Yeah. The tight-lipped secretiveness. I get the safety privilege channels. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about just the unwillingness to speak openly and letting it fester with people. I think it does more harm than good, to be honest with you.
Well, I think that's because you guys would make great commanders, and typically the guys that would make great commanders don't. They have options, and they go find better jobs that respect, the type of person they are and are willing to pay for it on the outside. So kudos to you both. Me, on the other hand, I make a horrible commander. But you know what? That's a perfect example of kind of what we're talking about when we talk in terms of like perspective, man. That's the beautiful thing about our profession and who we are, and it's a unique one as aviators. I don't care what position you're in. As an aviator, anybody gets in a plane that has a bird's eye or God's eye view of the world. It's like what's the word? It's both a calming kind of experience, but also one of like, you could also get the big head and have like a God complex too, right? When you're able to see the world from there, when you're able to see the curvature of the planet, right? Or, little cities here and there. So I think like we have this unique responsibility to think differently and do things differently. And when you see somebody that's in a leadership position that squanders that just does what every other corporate dude would do by covering their own ass, I think we lose something there. There's
course.
something to be said when we could see something from 30, 40,000 feet and forget it. If you're in the, ISS and you look down on this thing called Earth, and not to get too esoteric and too out there and whimsical, but
Esoteric, good word.
I don't know what it means, but it sounded like it fit. But that's the thing. I mean, we have this opportunity or this gift, right? Not everybody could do this, just like not everybody could be a doctor or whatever. Not everybody could do what we do as air crew, yet we do it, and we have this perspective. We get to see a world. How many times have you in one day, how many countries have you, max countries you've been in one day? Like in a single day, you've touched how many different countries at a time?
Like flown over or sat down in?
Now actually touch down in. What's your, and you guys flew tankers the whole time, so you guys get there fast and you can fly forever.
Probably 3 for me.
Yeah. I probably not to your point, Brandon. I think I did it by car because I drove from the UK, took a ferry over, and then I drove all the way to Austria once. So that's probably not the right example, but I know what you mean. Yeah, you can. Beautiful thing about the tanker, especially, is that it's just it carries 20 hours of gas. It's a time machine. You can get anywhere in the world. On hunts.
I remember the same thing. Like you can get anywhere with a full tank, and that's the unique and amazing ability that we have in the United States and our power. But yeah, I remember distinctly 3 distinct different countries. We had augmented crew, C-130, and we're in 3 completely different countries. And you get the perspective of 3 different countries, and you're like, wow, it is vastly different. That's when you start seeing the world differently. So, all this stuff that we're dealing with now in this country, we won't get into it. I mean, obviously, but I think we have a unique opportunity to get out there into these communities and kind of be a salve or Band-Aid, maybe, I don't know, and give a perspective that many don't get.
But a perspective on that, like, just as an example, did you see like people got in an uproar recently about the Kobe Bryant pilot crash? You know why?
Didn't read it yet.
Because the NTSB just released their findings.
Yeah.
Like every pilot that watched because the radar coverage was releasable immediately because it's somebody did a FOUO request and they got the information immediately and they released those tapes on YouTube. You could listen to it like 2 days afterwards.
Yeah. I remember that.
And I was like, oh, he lost control of tower. He was trying to go tower to tower, special VFR, clear clouds without the clearances. And he got disoriented and he CFIT. He controlled flight into terrain. Yeah. And I'm like, that's open shut. And they released 600 pages in the news. And then the news was like, apparently the pilot was disoriented. And it's like,
no shit.
I mean, from our point of view, though, that was no shit. But to everybody else, if you heard the tapes, you'd just be like, well, I don't know what happened there. I can't cipher that out. It's like when
VFR, I've never done
my
it.
accountant starts
sounds
talking,
like a nightmare.
I just go, dude, I don't know what you're talking about. But if I sat down for like a week and tried to like actually work through the numbers that he was doing, I bet I could figure it out. So
I'm sure those chopper guys live and die by it. But when I first learned about it in ground school for my private rating, reading what special VFR was, I remember having the exact thought, like, I'm never doing this.
It should be illegal.
This looks stupid. I get it. Like, helicopters have different, parameters, but man, I read that too. Like, use special VFR. He was just riding the edge this close. So it's not if, but when. Yeah.
It's a shame. You hate Monday morning quarterbacking, but you don't know what that guy was dealing with too.
Sure. Yeah.
I mean,
you just never know.
I've flown that guy a million times.
Yeah.
He was the only pilot Kobe would let fly.
That's what I'm saying. We're all really in the service industry. So ultimately, you're really just trying to watch out for your customers. And like, I love greeting my passengers on and off the airplane. Like my pilot, I fly
with, care. Yeah.
They hate it.
You're one of those.
Like, you're holding the bus up. Why are you being such a dick? And I'm like, I don't know, man. Like, I just
do you say dick hair as they're walking off?
Oh.
You don't?
Callie?
Dick hair.
Dick hair. Dick
Do
hair.
you say it that fast, Callie?
You say it fast enough, it sounds like take care. We covered this, actually.
I know, but say it again. How do you say it? Say it fast. Give them an example.
Take care. Take care. Take care. Thanks for flying with us. Take care. Thanks for flying Southwest.
But hey,
Clearly you don't.
we were talking about the tanker a little bit ago. Circle back a second.
Sure.
You see, there is an article released yesterday or today. The KC-46 won't be into full production until like 2024.
No way.
They delivered another tanker with tools in the fuel tank or somewhere they weren't supposed to be again.
Yeah, I don't think it get any worse for Boeing. Yeah, because as far as I understand, for government contracts, that's it. Like they negotiated a price, so the more years they spread it out over, it doesn't change their bottom line. They still get paid the same. It just takes them longer to do it. Yeah,
That was the deal with the Airbus, is they said, "Hey, we'll make a fixed price," and they were like, "Oh, that's lowest bidder, done."
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
And a bunch of other countries are flying it successfully. I don't know. I guess when was that? Early 2011, 2012.
Maybe they're
when
paying full price. The Aussies have had that thing
They've had it forever.
since
Since
I was
08, 09, right? Didn't we go out there in 09? We took over their program.
That's when they were converting.
Talking about
That's
the
why they
330.
did the tanker basket, is because they were converting
Yeah.
over to the KC-767.
Oh, the seven. Yeah, so the KC-767 was in production in 2003 before that whistle was blown there from that acquisitions officer that went over to Boeing and brought all the specs with him. That's when John McCain blew the whistle on that. So yeah, we're talking. This is 17 years in the making, and it's going even longer.
Japan's had it for a long time. I know that. I mean, the JASDAF was refueling off those things, I think, around the end of my time at Kadena.
Wow.
And then I read another article, what is it? Omega, I think, contract that refuels the Navy. They're looking to get some booms to refuel the Air Force and whatnot. But the thing is, there's no, they talked about leasing aircraft from the Air Force inventory, but the problem's not pilots. The problem is the aircraft, just because they're so old and breaking all the time.
So
yeah, at least one McDill jet, and they'll be done with that. And they'll be like, well, fuck, fuck this.
So this is great. My chief pilot at Beale, I won't say his name, but he was this old, crusty dude. And he was the kind of guy that was just like, you're like, hey, I know you're a reservian, and I'm calling out to see if you guys are interested. I'm trying to Palace Chase. And he's like, yeah, guy. You want to come to the reserves? And I was like, yeah, I'd love to. I'll come out anytime. And he goes, you don't need to apply. You just come on out. And I was like, why don't you just sign some paperwork? And he's like, send it my way, brother.
As it should be.
And I get out there and I greet him and I'm like, hey man, like, so what's your story? And he's like, I don't know, man. You're pretty new. I don't know if I can tell you. And I was like, well, you hired me. And he goes, yeah, but that's just a decision over the phone. Like, I got to drink with you before we talk about that kind of stuff.
There's got to be some bloodletting.
Come to find out, the guy is like divorced, 20 years old. All he does is every night he buys a box of wine and goes and finds some girl online, and then they drink a box of wine in a movie, and then whatever happens, happens. But his day job is he does contract air for Omega Air, and they basically go for 10 hours at a time flying a Boeing 707 with a boom off the back. And they rotate, or they circle off the coast of San Diego, and then that Navy just gets contacts. Like they just, like a beehive, just.
Wow.
And he goes, I'm like, so how do you do on that? And he's like, brother, it blows. Like, I shouldn't be flying those airplanes. I'm probably going to die, but God damn it, if they don't just put a bunch of cash in the suitcase and it's in my hotel room at the end of the damn day.
Wow.
And he's like, life ain't bad. And I was like, you put that in the bank? And he's like, hell no.
Let me show you my box wine collection.
Didn't you see the box wine? Hell
They
no.
said,
I gotta
they
buy
said
that.
that they go over to his house to party late at night. He just had stacks of $100 bills in his closet as high as you could see.
Jesus Christ.
Is that legal? Can you pay in cash? I guess you could pay in cash. That sounds like laundering, man.
Contract air. The mafia probably.
That would be an awesome.
contract.
Actually, you're probably onto something, Brandon. That would be a great money laundering operation.
Sopranos.
You gotta, yeah. I mean, the stuff that I got some buddies that decided not to do the airline thing, or decided way late. And they did like all these companies, Blackwater, L3, these hurt guys. They were soaking hurt guys up left and right. It was just amazing. The stories that I hear and how much cash they were getting. And my first year at your first year at any airline, you're just like, oh my God, how can I live like this? And then you hear your counterparts making all this cash, like you're saying, like suitcases of, well, here you go. I'm like, well, what do you want me to do with this? Like, I can't.
Callie,
what do you want me to do?
a tanker costs out of the boneyard. Do you want to get into business?
Wouldn't that be great? Let's hash it out right here. Callie's smart. You could talk. You know what? Let Callie talk to them. They'll talk them, half the price that they want.
We'll work on it. Yeah. I gotta say, I'm impressed he was able to score that much without the aid of Tinder and Bumble and all those. He would just go to the liquor store, buy a box of wine, and see where it went. Huh?
Yeah,
I love that old school grit.
No,
he'd walk into a restaurant and he'd just see a girl eating by herself, and he'd pull up to her, and I would hear his gift every once in a while, his little gab.
Here's the box.
And he'd go over there, and he wouldn't be there for 5 minutes, and then like next thing you know, he's like, hey, I gotta drop you off. I got a date. And I was like, we just got like fried chicken at Popeyes. And he's like,
when did that happen?
Yeah, but the honey on the biscuit is a lot sweeter than your saucy ass.
Jesus Christ. I think this gentleman needs to write in. I gotta talk to this enigma.
I don't even think he really wanted to live, to be honest, because he said that he told me some of the shit they'd take airborne, and he'd be like, well, like if that engine fucks up, we got 3 goddamn more. And I was like,
oh my God.
You got a point, I guess.
I mean, yeah,
like,
I get it.
He's like, we circle gliding distance from the goddamn land. And I'm like, I mean, once again, this guy must have superior confidence, or he doesn't give a fuck.
Like gliding distance in a
dead
what?
stick to tanker.
In a 707.
Yeah, smart. In a 707, a swept wing plane. We're gonna glide that thing. You're not gonna make it. You're just not.
I mean, I think it's a 7-to-1 glide ratio. It's not terrible.
Is it?
Mm-hmm.
Wow, that's impressive.
Now, where are you landing? I don't know. Like you're gonna land hot. You're gonna be hot.
Oh yeah.
You're gonna scrape some metal.
Right off. You just landed on shore, just like gear up.
I think that guy scraped a lot of different things, and I don't think he cared.
Barnacles. Barnacles off it.
Oh, by the way. So I left my dad's boat in the river for like 2 weeks at one point, and the water is so nutrient rich that I just spent yesterday scraping a 1/4 inch of barnacles off the top of the boat because we're going to the Keys in 2 weeks, and my boat wouldn't even get up on plane. It was like it's like Callie's herpes on the bottom of the airplane, and it just wouldn't let it get to speed.
I've been there. Yeah,
they kept hitting the bumps.
Yeah, and it The friction was just too much. So
friction. Did it bleed?
Oh, that was the worst smelling thing I've ever done. So I'm underneath the trailer scraping this stuff off, and it's like flying in my eyes and my mouth. I definitely have COVID for sure.
Or
wonder if you could smuggle dope or something in a boat that's got like. So you intentionally get a boat and you just build some cases into the hull, and you let the barnacles form on top of them, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like they're not gonna scrape the barnacles to try to get to your stash.
No,
it might be a good
You might
so,
be.
Man, if we all get furloughed,
you're in the wrong business, Callie.
Tyler, are we keeping a side log on like potential business opportunities, like
I like that
mafia flying, barnacle smuggling?
Yep,
absolutely. That's what Furlough Friday is really about. The alternative things we could do with these precious hands we have.
How many times is the Port Authority going to strip a boat of barnacles, pro bono, looking for drugs before they're like, I think these guys should just have us do their bitch work for them,
Move along.
Yeah.
Nothing to see here. These aren't the drugs.
I'm tired of scraping these barnacles. I think you're onto something.
For 2 keys, yeah.
Oh, 2 keys. Is that where we're going with it? I mean, is that all?
I don't know. I figured that would pay for the voyage. I don't know.
At least. Maybe. I mean, what are we actually carrying? Okay, we don't need to get in that. We're going to get indicted. I think that guy's listening already.
Well, I want to pivot to booze. Did you guys see that the airlines are we're going to
stop man.
Serving the juice?
You think that's temporary? Or you think it'll come back?
No, it's so much of a moneymaker. It's got to be temporary. Yeah.
There's no way that is going to stick.
Yeah.
How? You know how much money they make on those little things?
Yeah.
What?
Those minis?
I don't understand it though. Can you guys walk me through it? Like, is it just the serving of it, and they just don't want, like, alcohol is like not a basic need, so they're saying we don't want to expose that, or?
I can't. I haven't flown in like 3 months, so I don't know.
Well, no, I'm just I'm
Yeah, I don't
asking.
know.
Like, I haven't flown either. I'm just asking.
Yeah, I think they're trying to keep people masked up as much as possible. So if you give them a bunch, if you give them some goldfish and a bottle of
A can or bottle of something.
Well,
Something-
if that's
yeah.
the problem, they should do a vending machine of little liquor bottles.
You
by
know,
the
I think that's
bathroom.
coming. I really think that's coming. Like they're
Yeah.
going to replace. I mean, it's a cost saver. Think about it. If you can just get up and go to a vending machine instead of waiting for a flight attendant to serve you or something.
Tyler, I need you to log this. We're gonna invent a BBA type robot that goes down the middle aisle and just pops out drinks and food. Log it.
Does it launch it out of the robot's
Yeah,
face?
and it's got the little thing that lights the cigarette. He pops his arm out and just
Nice.
It could have one of those vacuum things like at the bank where you
Oh,
push
yeah,
a button
dude.
overhead and then it just like boop comes down, grab it from the top.
Imagine
Who
the
needs
a
thing
light?
with smokers.
the pneumatic
They-
tubes. Yeah,
Pneumatic. They don't use those enough. Like that was
Yeah.
such a cool. As a kid, didn't you love going through
oh
the?
my god, yeah, the bank.
So-
Yeah,
So many
Bank.
applications. The Tesla tunnel
Tesla's
or
doing
whatever. Yep.
Yeah.
have you guys been to
Is that
like
the name
a
of that
regular bar since? I know Florida reopened. We don't
Yeah,
have
I
any
did.
bars open
Last
here.
week, I probably have COVID.
Any changes there? Like, are people like
Huge change.
are people getting laid? Like, how do you
Pretty sure.
even make the approach?
I didn't partake in that, but I
What
went
do you
out with
think?
Joe last week,
I just wonder. Yeah, like how
and
if you go,
I mean, yeah, they're out there, man.
they're out there. It
there's-
works.
Yeah, people are are actively getting after.
They gotta. Yeah.
I didn't partake, but
I wonder
I
if-
didn't partake.
I wonder if with all this
Weird.
the quarantining and the masks and shit, I wonder if like all kinds of STDs have gone down.
Oh, you got to think so, right?
I would think
Except
so,
for
too.
in the villages here in Florida. But yeah, I mean the
the old people. Yeah. They're
yeah, because they
nasty.
don't care. So
What
back to
else?
booze. What's the best booze on the road? Okay, so here's the thing, and I was thinking about this earlier. Like and we kind of touched on it. There's booze that we have in the solitude of our homes, this stuff, and then there's booze on the road that we're willing to partake in and drink. First question, is it better on the road or at home? And then the second part, what are you willing to drink?
I like how his dog activated his camera though. In
Was that me?
Zoom.
Yeah. It was,
You have to
Bitch.
speak now.
Yeah. Let me think. So I think I drink more at home than I do on the road. That being said, I will, knowing that I'm going to drink a lower volume, I will splurge for nicer stuff on the road than I drink in the comfort of my home.
Exactly.
So
yeah.
at
My
home-
rule is
yeah.
one, and I'll do one good one.
And you'll go good.
You know,
Yeah. Makes it worth it.
And then that's it.
So at home, I got, I drink nice for you guys because we're doing this thing, but usually I just have a handle of, Costco vodka.
Wow. Well,
And I
appreciate it, man. Thanks.
Yeah. But,
Like I feel
for
honored.
all for show,
talking about my light
I'll
here.
buy some.
Brandon,
I'll
you
buy
want
some
to talk
nice
about that?
whiskey every now and then.
You want to talk about that book behind you?
Why did he just?
No.
What just happened? Oh yeah. No, this is legit. So you might appreciate this, Callie. So I did this whole speakeasy tour. So everywhere I went, I would look for a speakeasy to go to, and I was in New York a lot, and went to like Dead Rabbit and all these cool places. This is
Nice.
a cocktail book, Modern Classic Cocktails from Death and Company. I don't know if you can see that.
Yep. I got it. Yep.
And do you have? Yeah, this thing
No.
has some of the coolest. Like it talks about techniques, the different spirits, where they come from, why, and some of the best cocktails. Now, arguably, you're spending an ass ton of money on the different, mixers and stuff, or things that you're concocting, because it takes a few times to really get it down. But once you do, you get like one or two that you really like, and then you can impress people at when they come
Yeah.
over. That's all you need. Just
Do you ever
get-
smoke a glass? Does it have that in there?
yeah.
Yeah.
So my buddy has one of those, and with the lid and everything. It's
Yeah, it makes it-
insane.
I don't do it myself, but I love places that do it, and if I find, and I don't go to speakeasies and stuff, but when I find a nice whiskey bar that does that, and I see that, that's just a dead seller for me, man. Love it.
Yeah, we got into it big time, man. And like every year we have a trip that we try to go down a bourbon trail in Kentucky, and well, we try to do it. It doesn't work out every year, but it's awesome. You get some great ideas. You get good time to hang out with your buddies. And
yeah, I love that stuff. So yeah, definitely a better treat on the road. So I don't have a go-to. I just try to go for whatever's best, like you. And one and done, maybe two and done.
I feel like if you drink well, you drink less, and it gives you like when I'm on the road, I want to connect with people because I feel like when I talk, I drink less. So for me, it's really all about combating drinking more.
I know you think that, Zach, but no, you talk and drink.
No, but like when I'm on the road and I drink something nice, people ask me like, "Hey man, what's that you got? Like, what did you order there?" Or if I ask a cocktail that nobody's heard of, they're like, "What's in that?" And then that's a conversation starter. So,
okay, yeah.
Is the conversation always like, oh, hold on a second, wait. Yeah.
Well, no, because it's shots, so I'm not talking while I'm shooting. Why is everybody else's room so light and mine's dark? I feel like I can't get it light enough, and you guys all have.
Open your slats behind you.
How about you open up the windows, dude? We're in the same state. I don't understand why. Like, turn on a light. I don't know. I'm trying to conserve.
I did, but then I got even darker when I turned the lights on.
What?
There you go.
Leave it like that. No need to get complicated.
Is it because of the freckles? It just sucks all the light.
I'd say you're pretty pale, Zach. You could afford
you're absorbing all the light in the room.
I love redheads. Come on, Arango. You're doing fine. Remember that nickname the Aussies gave you?
Yeah. Rangy. Hey, Rangy.
Wait, what they call him?
Hey, Rangy.
Hey, Rangy.
Ranga. Ranga.
Like that's what we call you,
Zaranga.
freckled folk. We call you the Rangy. You look like an orangutan.
We're like, what? Oh my god, that big
Brandon,
monkey with orange hair.
My wife does private events, and she got the Aussie guys from CENTCOM. They're throwing a party at her place, like their Christmas party.
Oh my god.
She's like, well, what beer should I get? And I was like, don't get Foster's. Like that's like their piss water.
No, they can't do
like
that.
4X or VB or something like that. Like.
Oh, that was good stuff.
Like that'll take it back. Like they have nicer beers than that, like Cooper's and other stuff. But I was like,
yeah.
Get them like a 4X or a VB, you might start a fight, especially if you did those two, because it's like one's Victoria's bitters and then 4X.
You're one camp or the other, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Be the
and they should the two cross.
Actually, we're from like the only two parts of a country that mattered.
Correct.
Miss those times.
Wow, that's a lot. Yeah, it was a good time. I miss it. Oh, Guam. Oh, so, Australia.
I got some new. I flew this week. Like, all right. So I'll go. So my wife noticed that I was like, I've been off since February 28th. I've been at home watching 2 kids for half the time, and then I got 1 newborn for the other half the time because the other one went back to school finally. And I'm home every day, still getting paychecks, so I'm not upset. But after a while there, like, it just wears on you. Sure. And I had this night the other night where, like, I could feel – so I got Bell's palsy in 2017, and it's this condition that they don't know what causes it, but it's like a pinch – nerve caused by a virus, but it starts off as an earache and then it slowly works in the back of your head and comes up the back, and you feel that's like intense headache. And then what happens is it pinches a nerve, and it's a 7th cranial nerve, and the right side of your face goes numb. You get slouching like you've had a freaking stroke, and you lose taste in your tongue. And I was on a trip to San Francisco when it happened. You guys all know the story, but for those of you out there that don't, if you wake up from your nap and the right side of your face is slouched and you feel like everything tastes like nickels, it's probably a stroke for you older guys, but if you're a younger guy, you may have this other thing, and it's called Bell's palsy. Yeah. And they don't know what caused it except for that it's a virus attacking this nerve. And one of the viruses that they found in Australia is COVID-19. Is like they have a couple cases of it setting it off. Wow. And I had this like last Wednesday, I had like an earache and I felt like this like back of my head going off, and it was actually just stress. But I had to go in like the other room and like turn on the calm channel on my freaking fuck you, Callie.
I'm listening. I don't know why I'm laughing.
I had to turn on the calm channel. I haven't asked for a break since I got married in like 2012. Like, and I had to go in the other room and just like zone out, like just out.
You know, I don't it goes back to like who we are as individuals and the types of people that we are that are able to do this aviation thing, this air crew and all that, and how we think, man. It's not that we're not suited for it. We're just not used to it. And it takes so much time. And that's what we talk. I mean, and you had a great point last time you were on, Zach, about talking about the mental health here. And you know us, we don't talk about it. We don't, but this is a perfect forum. And that's kind of what this whole thing was for, is as a Furlough Friday, a way to unwind, like I said before, and talk about the stuff of the week and bullshit with each other and get stuff off your chest. That's some stuff. That's serious, man. That's,
yeah.
You know, I almost like, my kids set me off, and it was like I caught myself. I'm like, I think I might hurt this kid. Like, I like, ever have that like quick, like, wait a minute, oh, no, I can't do that. Wait, I'm his dad. Wait.
Well, you got a teenage girl.
Huh?
You got a teenage girl, so.
Yeah, that too. Yeah, that helps. So it's always smart to have a teenage girl going through those years and a terrible twos boy going through those years. That's fun, all at the same time. That's great. So yeah, I had one of those moments too. I had to go into the other room and just kind of sit there like in the dark and stare into it.
But I thought seriously I was gonna have a second attack of Bell's palsy. And what's fucked up about this shit is like if it happens again, it stays. It's like one of those things where you get like 3 strikes. It's like the first time you'll probably get over it.
Oh, it's like concussions or it's cumulative.
Yeah, the second time you're gonna have some lingering, and then if you get a third time, you're just gonna be like, "Hey guys, what's going on?"
You only had it once, right?
I've only had it once, but like, and the chances of it are really slim. But I was just.
But didn't you say that stress can bring it on?
Yes, right? That's what it was. It was 3 back-to-back red eyes, which shouldn't be legal, and I don't know why I did them. But like, I was on reserve, and I was just getting used like a bitch, and it didn't set off whatever their things are. I think I might have had like 20 hours between them or something like that. But I had like 3 back-to-back red eyes, and it was just like so bad on my body that.
Are you guys able to like say call in fatigue? Hey, fatigue.
But I was 1 week from coming off probation, so that's the learning moment. Is I was unwilling to raise my hand because I
couldn't hit it a worse time. Yeah,
I was 1 weekend from off probation, and I was just like, so I'll finish.
That's what we do.
I'll finish that story. So I get Bell's palsy. The right side of my face is freaking melted. And I call back to somebody who first told me to call an ambulance because I had a stroke. And then I said, I didn't have a stroke, I promise you. And so he goes, well, I have a neurologist that works on my staff. Let me bring her in on it. And she comes in on the conference call. This is at midnight West Coast time. So it's like 3 a.m. This is how good. Our friend that used to work in the command post, his brother is a doctor. You guys know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah. So his brother calls in his neuro partner 3 a.m. their time. They give me a consult, and basically she diagnoses me with Bell's palsy over the phone and just says, get home, however you can get home. And I'm not going to tell you how I get home because I should have also raised my hand and said, hey, I had this thing and I should not fly. However, I flew because I talked to my captain, and he's like, well, I'll just do everything, and you can just sit over there, and, if you feel like doing radio calls, you can just do radio calls. And I was like,
yeah,
okay. And thinking back on it now, I'm like, this is so stupid. Why did I
those guys
that?
die every now and then.
Why didn't I just call in sick? It's like a legitimate excuse, like the right side of my face felt.
You're actually sick, yeah.
But that goes
for much less.
Yeah, right. I mean, that goes back to how we're made up, man. We're mission hackers. We want to get the job done. We don't want to disappoint the people in the back or the mission or whatever. Like, but it's to our own detriment sometimes. You know, my hat's off to you for having the cojones to want to do that. But yeah, we got to think
a
differently.
Balls Palsy Facebook support group?
Wait, balls palsy? Like
It's
That's what I
bells.
call it too,
to live
Tyler.
with it? But-
Thanks, bro.
Bells.
I mean,
Is that
my
where your
right
balls
testicle is
go?
farther
Yeah.
descended than my left, so I mean, it could technically have palsy, I guess.
It just, yeah. Did it drop? Did it drop farther? Does it make it all the way down
Oh
from the
my
back of your head down to your
God.
balls?
Oh. I don't want to be laughing at this.
I want
You
it-
guys
I
are
want-
pretty funny.
I'm tell a story right now so bad, but we'll just leave it.
My
Okay.
all I can tell you is when I called, I finally decided to fess up to somebody, and I called the union medical people. And the lady that answered the phone, I told her the whole story, and she goes, "You guys are fucking retarded." No offense to retarded people, like I'm just using it as a,
That's what
You're
she said.
paraphrasing. I got it. Yeah.
but she called me an idiot, like over the phone, and then she goes, "Now that that's off my chest, what really happened?" And I was like, "That's what really happened." And she's like, "You're an idiot." Like again, she was like, "This story is just." She's like, "I'm gonna tell this around the office for like 5 days."
What's our time hack? Are we taking too much of your time? We know you got Callie. We know you got responsibilities and stuff like the neighborhood kids.
I do. Yeah. The neighbors have entrusted me to watch their kids. That's the fucked up part because, like, usually with the pilot job, right, you're gone half the month. People don't know when to count you to be somewhere. They'll invite you to a party. Like, this guy might show up. He's a clown. I don't know. We'll invite him. What the hell? Yeah. And you always got this card to play. Like, no, I had this, or I had to go here, and so you never know. But now they've seen me for the last like 4 months. They know I'm going to be everywhere. So everything that they invite me to, I got to go to. You know,
If they only knew you, they'd give their kids an iPad.
They probably should. Like, hey, we need someone to play
iPad
softball.
and a bowl of milk.
Well, Chris is around. He doesn't do shit.
That's a good question though. Like, what do you think your friends, like, what do you think their view of you is during all this? Because that was one of the things I wrote down for
They
tonight.
think I'm a fuck off. Yeah. Like,
Oh,
I think they thought I was like, maybe jet setting, some kind of professional, and then they see this, they're like, and up until now, I had a super long beard and stuff. I just looked like a homeless person hanging around the neighborhood. So, yeah.
You did have a beard last week, didn't you?
Their view of
impressive.
me has changed significantly. That, like, given the opportunity to be a fuck off, he will. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
so speaking of that, so a couple weeks ago, I think it was the first night we went to the bar again. Me and JoJo thought it'd be a good idea to TP one of our friends. And mind you, we're both in our 40s, and our friend's in his 40s.
I see no problem still, but continue.
What's the problem? What's numbers got to do with it?
Well, hold on.
Yeah.
So I'm getting there. So we go TP their house, nice neighborhood in South Tampa, toilet paper shortage worldwide, and it's raining. And
Even better.
our buddy showed up at the bar randomly when we were brainstorming this idea. He's like, "Oh, I just picked up 12 rolls on the way here." So we had to start. Swing by 7-Eleven, empty their stash, White Claws, 7-Eleven pizza, horrible situation.
Get some eggs too while you're at it.
We didn't get eggs.
Oh, okay.
We show up there, paint his house white, and roll out. JoJo crashes on my couch that night. 9:30 in the morning, I roll downstairs. I'm like, "Hey, bro, have you heard from Will?" He's like, "Yeah, not happy." So obviously, right? But that being said, Will and Joe have both TP'd me. So, give a fuck was pretty low. But imagine being Will's wife.
Oh my God.
They've got what? A 3-year-old and a 1-year-old, and she's got a 40-year-old husband. And like the neighbors are like, "Why'd they get TP?" You know what I mean? Like, just imagine, like
the conversations I gotta have at the next neighborhood watch.
judging
Or
all the neighbors.
Hoa.
Yeah.
So Tyler, the other thing is he's a stay-at-home dad because he had a career where he made a bunch of money in the beginning of his career. So all he does is stay home with kids. So all the neighbors just see him as like Will, the stay-at-home dad, and now he's out there pulling wet teepee.
That's great. We should do that more often.
So
Once a month, we got to choose somebody's house.
So Joe's talking to Katie about it, and he's like, "It's the only way I knew how to tell Will I loved him."
He called me the next day and asked how I apologized. And I said, you drive over to their house and you freaking beg for mercy. That's what you
Yeah.
Buy him a pizza or something.
Well, he
There
bought
was,
it.
a,
My
there was a
apology
gift.
pizza.
There was a gift card involved.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, that's fair.
You got to be able to take a joke. We can't take a joke anymore.
Yep.
I know Will, but his wife was probably not. She was legitimately not thrilled.
Yeah.
I love that.
No, because like her and my wife talk, and
Oh man.
they
It's
think,
like a cat bringing a dead chipmunk to your doorstep. It's the way they say
Yeah.
hello. Yeah.
Oh, so hold on, that brings up another point. So Zach, did you get in trouble because of the story that you heard from
Ooh,
oh no,
the wife?
well not yet.
It's just like you.
not yet.
Not yet. So clearly you're guilty because it happened to them. So now
My wife did ask to watch the last podcast, and I was like, there's nothing good in there. Like it's all just gibber. It's like airline gibber. And she goes, what you guys talking about? Like your paychecks and like union, paycheck.
Bidding, work. Yeah.
work.
Like remember
I'm glad
that
we haven't
cartoon
talked-
I showed you? Yeah, it was like the cartoon. That was it.
We have not talked about any work, so I'm pretty happy about that.
Yeah, as it should be. This is the
Yeah.
stuff that's outside of work, but
Yeah.
shit that affects our lives. I have some other stuff here, but we can hold it for next time because I know we got you on here for an hour, so I don't want to interrupt somebody's life.
That's fair.
What do you think? You want one
Yeah.
more question? Anybody else?
throw,
Something else?
throw a question at us, BA.
This is kind of give credence because I know I said something last time about the difference between the civilian and military guys and like how they deal with stress. This kind of, after having that conversation that we had, and I don't remember who was on it, we talked about transitioning. And I will say this, when it comes to my civilian GA or whatever guys transitioning from job to job since they've been doing it over and over again. And this is something we're going to touch on with Will later on in one of the interviews. I think Tyler might try to ping him. Is that the mental emotional transition, and as you guys are drawing down, it's happening to you between military and civilian flying. Like when you stop the military, like what is that going to be like? And I can tell you from my perspective, it was not as easy as I thought it was going to be. And I talked to my civilian buddies, and they're like, "Oh yeah, that happens all the time," because they've jumped around a lot. Guys were able to help give me a little perspective, so I appreciated that. But I guess the question to you guys is like, are you prepared for that? Do you know what that's going to feel like? Are you even thinking about it yet? How many more years you got?
I mean, I could do next May, but I know what you're talking about. Like, I think we showed probably a little bit of insensitivity, but this is a ball busting podcast, so fuck off.
Nah, I'm not worried about that. It was more, yeah, fuck them.
I mean, you can only talk about, as I say a million times, you can only talk about what your background is. So my background is this. I'm not apologizing for it. It's just what it is.
Exactly.
But I do not look at it like I need to rip the Band-Aid off because I need to get the F out of that thing as soon as possible. I look at it as it's a mutually beneficial relationship, and as soon as it becomes slanted in one direction, because I don't look at it like the fun thing. Everybody goes, well, when it's not fun, I won't do it anymore because I'm not in it for fun.
It's not fun anyway.
Fun.
Fucking,
It's beneficial. Yeah.
I've talked about what I do for fun already. Like,
Yeah.
and it doesn't involve any work. It doesn't involve any work.
It's not shaving and putting on a flight suit. Yeah, I know. I feel for you, BA, because I remember yours was very abrupt because you put in the application. We did one Hawaii trip together, but you were supposed to go on another one.
Yeah.
And you didn't go because they pulled you off the orders because you dropped off the Manning document because it finally went through. Right.
Yeah.
So it was like 1 second you thought you were going to Hawaii with the boys, and then the next it was like, no, you're not. You don't work here anymore.
Oh, and by the way, you're not in the unit anymore. Oh, that's good to know. When are you going to tell me that?
Right. Not the way you want to go out. So after witnessing that, I did kind of like Zach said, not like a Band-Aid. I planned a 1 year, exodus, and it was easy for me. I drew a line in the sand, and I said, I'm going to work up to this date, and then I'm out, and I'm going to do it methodically. I think that is the way to do it. So
Yeah.
as long as you know it's coming, I think it's not as hard as it sounds. And like Zach
and
said,
you
it's
think
not
you're
fun.
ready, man.
Yeah.
No, you think you're ready until, and this is when it hit me when I'm in the flight suit and it was driving off base. It was like, holy crap, this is the last time
That's it.
I'm gonna fly that. And of course for me, I got an hour drive to get home, so that's way too much time to think.
Yep.
So,
You can put the
that's
suit
what I was-
on again, but it doesn't mean the same thing, you know.
Oh, I do.
Was there a tear
At least
shed?
once a month? I put it on once a month just to feel one with the aviation gods.
I hate to admit this in a forum like this, but like, you can't be as fun and outgoing as a lot of us are without having the other side be true. So like, when I get sad, I get fucking super sad and I like shed a tear, right? It's like, I can only imagine like that car ride home. You're like, it's
Not good.
It's fine.
Yeah.
It's fine. And then you're
Not
like,
good.
and like all those memories come back, like the ones we're talking about, like the stories and shit. And you're just like, that's fuck.
That is
You know what, man?
over.
We could still do it too. I bet if me and you got in, we'd figure it out.
Oh yeah.
How hard could it be?
Man, I mean, come on. Jesus.
You guys
Like
should
riding a bike.
both come and rush again with no intentions of getting hired. Just rush.
Oh, I want to.
and
I almost
just
did it
the
with
pressure
Joe.
on the other
Just fuck
interviewees.
somebody else over.
Mhm.
Brandon, I thought you already had an inroad. I thought you had something going on.
Me and Joe were gonna do it, and I was legitimately thinking about it, but there was we talked about it last time, and there just wasn't the stars didn't line up like I wanted for me to come in. There was too much, I think, active duty presence to where they wouldn't have gotten it. They wouldn't have thought it was.
The ask was too big.
Yeah, I mean, to put that
Payoff
kind of
too
effort
small.
into it.
Yeah.
Well, there is no payoff. It's just.
No. Well, the payoff is to get back with your buds and do the things that you love. But yeah, man, that ride home was something. So it's just the point is, I guess, are you guys prepared for that? And it sounds like you are, and that's great. And those guys that are out there listening and looking and watching and all that. Like, yeah, it's when it comes sometimes abruptly, or sometimes you've thought it through, but it doesn't matter. When you drive off of that last time, you're like, huh, that's different. I haven't felt that before.
Yeah. Did you do a Finny flight, Brandon, or no?
No.
I didn't either, man. And I don't know if I'm going to regret that yet or not. Yeah. You know I was gone?
I didn't know Brandon was off the books until just now.
Yeah.
Wait till.
All right, guys. Much like my career, I'm jumping off this call.
All right.
All right, boys.
It was good seeing you guys again. Thanks for putting this together,
man.
guys.
Thanks for the drink.
All right.